Everyone, welcome to Kol Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org, with BRI, and of course Yeshiva Teres Shimon. All the beautiful organizations that I work with, and I'm so proud to be part of. And we have so many listeners from all over the world, and I want to say thank you to all my listeners before we even begin. And I want to thank everybody for the encouragement and the kind words, and how you explain to me constantly how the class always enhances your Shabbos. So thank you for your kind words. Okay, this week is Parshat Terumah. Such an exciting week. So exciting. Which today is also Rosh Chodesh, so I wish everyone a good Chodesh. And all the Parshias are so special. But Parshat Terumah is really so special because we were granted by the Rebbeinu Sheleimah to have a makom in the world where our Kadosh Baruch Hu can rest the Shechina Kedosha. Unbelievable. What a beautiful idea. The Medrash, we'll start with the Medrash. The Medrash opens up and the Medrash says, it's like a king that has his only daughter. It compares the Torah to the king's only daughter. And when she gets married and moves away, the king cannot bear to be apart from her. He says to her husband, I cannot tell you not to take her, but do me one favor. Wherever you go, build a small room for me so I can dwell near you. The Torah tells us this week, Vasali Migdash, V'shachanti b'saycham. Famous question everyone asks. Vasali Migdash is singular. Migdash, one Migdash. V'shachanti b'saycham. I will dwell amongst them. Well, if it's one Migdash, why is it amongst them? So that's because everybody is supposed to make a mishkan for HaKadosh Baruch Hu in their hearts. Bilvavi mishkan evne. Build for me a migdash in your heart. So, such beautiful words. The Torah is so beautiful. Make a place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Make a place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Make him part of your life. Terumah isn't about giving. Isn't about HaKadosh Baruch Hu needing a place. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need the Mikdash. It's about us needing to keep a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu close. Such an eye-opener. It's not that Hashem needs our karbanos. It's not that Hashem needs the Mikdash. He needs the kelim in the Mikdash. No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to give, to have a place, to be part with Him. He does everything for us. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kindness. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said it was Olam Chesed Yiboneh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu built the world on the premise of Chesed. Let's discuss the materials of the Mishkan a little bit. The Alkut Shimoni, beautiful, beautiful teachings. talks about the shittim wood that was used for the Mishkan. Where did they get these massive trees in the middle of the desert? They were in the middle of the desert. Where would they have gotten these massive trees? It teaches us that when Yaakov Avinu went down to Mitzrayim, he saw Beruach HaKodesh, he saw with his insight. We're building a Migdal, it will be building a Mishkan about 220 years later, give or take. It was less. It was 211 years. All right, either way, whatever. In advance, planted those trees in Mitzrayim, telling Klal Yisrael, one day you'll be redeemed, and you'll need these trees. The Yalkut suggests that even the silent parts of creation, doimim and saimeach, right? Inanimate objects and plant life, vegetation, wood, gold, were waiting for their moment to serve a higher purpose. It teaches us that nothing in our life is accidental. Nothing. The resources you have today were planted long ago for the mitzvah you are meant to do now. The same way Yaakov Avinu taught Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim, plant these trees, these shittim trees, massive trees, you're going to need them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us everything in our lives that we need in order to fulfill our tafkid in life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us everything we need. Rabbi Nachman takes this to another level. Rabbi Nachman in Likutei Maran in Tinyana, lesson Ayin Aleph 71, the Rebbe focuses on the phrase, from every man whose heart inspires him. Asher yidvenu libai. Me'ez kol ish asher yidvenu libai. Rabbi Nachman teaches that when a person gives Terumah, not because they have to, but because their heart is genuinely moved, they connect to what he calls the Noyam Elyon. We learned about this in Hilchas Birchas HaPeiros, in Likutei Halachos. So beautiful. There's a place in Shemayim called Noyam Elyon. All sweet, good things in this world stem from Noyam Elyon. Pleasant, the pleasant superlatives. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to understand how there's something all the way up the highest place. And everything sweet and good in our lives is attached to the Noyam Elyon. Rabbi Nachman teaches us that. In lesson 71 in the second book, you could look up. It's unbelievable to understand that. He explains that the physical gold and silver are not just containers. The real Terumah is the joy and desire in the heart. When you give with an open heart, you aren't just building a Mishkan, you're building a supernal heart. Above that pours down life and joy into this world. When you give tzedakah, and you really want to give it, it's so precious. You create kelim up on high that are unbelievable. My dear friends, as we enter Parshat Terumah, we are asked to give. But look at the beauty behind the request. The Medrash tells us that Hashem is like a father who just wants to stay close to his children. The Mishkan is that guest room that's in our hearts where Hashem can dwell. The Alkut Shemaini reminds us that the wood for our own personal Mishkan was planted generations ago. Your kishroinos, your talents that you have, your mammon, your money that you have, your wealth that you have, and all the experiences that you have were prepared for you for this moment. Use them well. Rabbi Nachman gives us a secret key. Don't just give your money, give your heart's desire. When you act with nedivus, generosity, you touch the Nayam Elyon, the pure sweetness of Hashem. You don't just build a building, you become a walking Mishkan, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu's light, the Or Elokus, the Or of Hashem, can finally dwell. Via you giving with your heart. It's not just the money, it's how much you desire to want to give. The Baal Shem Tov focuses on the materials. He talks about the materials: gold, silver, copper. He asks a fundamental question about the Holy Baal Shem HaKadosh. Since HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Melech Malchei Amlachim, he's the king of the universe, and the gold and silver all belong to Hashem, why does he need us to give him physical metal, precious metals? The Baal Shem Tov explains that every material listed in the Parsha represents a different human emotion or personality trait. For example, gold. Gold is zahav. Represents gevura, strength, awe. The Ramban explains that we have the Aron in the Parsha, the Aron. And the Aron was made, it was a box, and it was gold-plated, and it had a kaparas, a cover, and it had the kruvim that sat on top of the kaparas, on top of the cover of the Aron. They were gold. And the Parsha explains that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu would speak to Moshe Rabbeinu, to give him the commandments, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would speak bein hakruvim, between the two kruvim. Says the Rambam, what does that mean? It's like the fire. The same way when we were on Har Sinai, there was a fire. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Aseres HaDibros. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaks to Moshe Rabbeinu, bein hakruvim, the gold that we learned from the Holy Baal Shem HaKadosh is gevura, strength, awe. Unbelievable. So it's an extension, the Mishkan is actually an extension of Har Sinai. The Mishkan's an extension, the same way the fire was given with the Torah, with the Aseres HaDibros on Har Sinai, so too was the giving of the mitzvos, a continuation of the 613 mitzvahs given to us, was given to us bein hakruvim in the Mishkan. And then the Baal Shem Tov goes on to say that silver is kesef. Now, don't confuse it. The money today is also called kesef. That's because money used to be silver. Okay, that's why in modern Hebrew they call money kesef. Kesef actually means silver. Okay, represents ahava, a longing, a tshuka to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like the word nichsaif, kesef, nichsaif, nichsafti. Like we have in the Yedid Nefesh, right? Nichsaif, nichsafti. Lias me'etzvez uzacha, right? This word nichsaif, to long for, it represents love, kindness, ahava, and longing. Copper is nechoshes, represents the simple. Copper is a simple metal. Grounded parts of our nature. He teaches that building a Mishkan means taking these raw, often messy human emotions and elevating them. Terumah, to make a donation to Hashem. If you have a fiery personality, like gold is Gevurah, we said, don't use it for material greed. Use it to love every Yid. Use it to love the Torah. Use it to love Eretz Yisrael. Unbelievable. It's just so beautiful to understand this. Silver, don't use it. Don't use the silver. Don't use it for material. Use it to love Hashem. If you have Gevurah, don't use it for anger. Use it for the passion of prayer. Use it to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with passion. Put a little emotion into your tefillah rather than just mumbling the words. Say the words. Okay. The Baal Shem Tov notes that the verse, and you shall take Terumah for me, v'ikuli Terumah, when it should have said, and you shall give Terumah. Nesina, not giving. He explains when a person gives to a holy cause with the right intentions, they aren't actually losing anything. In fact, they are taking. By giving a piece of your physical wealth or their time, some people don't have money to give, but they can donate their time to the organization. They are taking a piece of elikus and bringing it into their own lives. The giver becomes the receiver. Is that amazing? Is that amazing? You think you're giving? No, you're actually receiving. The Yetzer Hara works in a funny way. He makes us believe different things. There are certain people that believe, I give my tzedakah so I will live longer. I give my tzedakah so that way I'll be healed. I give my tzedakah so that way I'll get whatever. Wait a second. When you give, you're actually getting. You don't give for those reasons. You give because you want to give, and of course, memela, everything will happen that's supposed to happen. The main thing is how you give. The Baal Shem Tov taught that this tzivoy, this commandment to build a Mishkan, wasn't just a one-time event that happened in the Midbar, in the desert many years ago. He says in every single moment and in every single place And every single person is obligated to build a Mishkan for HaKadosh Baruch Hu within themselves. Bilvavi Mishkan Evne. How do you do this? By purifying your thoughts. The Baal Shem Tov says that a holy thought is a vessel, is a kli for holiness. If a person has a holy thought, the mind is the highest part of the body. The mind has such power. You can make a kli for HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your mind as well. Even when you're working or driving in your car, whatever company you're working for, or wherever you're going, if you think a thought of gratitude of Hashem, and you ride around and you say, wow, look at this beautiful mountain. Ma'arabu Masecha Hashem. When you see something beautiful in the world and you recognize it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're fulfilling your tafkid in life. You're connecting the lower world with the upper world. Every time you do that, it's like laying a golden brick in your Mishkan. Every thought, anytime you thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's like putting another brick, building another brick. Could you imagine what gold costs today? How much a gold brick would cost today? Have a good thought. Have a good thought. A thought, I want to become better. I want to do tshuva. I want to be closer to you, Hashem. You're building golden bricks. Fascinating. There's a story for this from the Holy Baal Shem HaKadosh. It's a beautiful story. One day, during the Yom Narayim, there was a simple Raya Tzayin, a shepherd, that came to the Baal Shem Tov shul. The boy was a simple boy. He didn't know how to learn. Maybe he didn't even know how to daven. He certainly didn't know the tefillas that they were davening, the prayers. And he didn't know certainly the meaning of the Yom Narayim, the holy days, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the Aseret Simei Tshuva. He didn't understand that. But he had a deep, burning love for Hashem in his heart. He loved Hashem. He didn't have the opportunity to learn. He didn't know. He sat down in the back of the shul, watching everybody davening. And they were davening with such kavanah, such intensity. He wanted to give something to Hashem also. But he had no words. All he had in his pocket was a small wooden flute. A little chalil. He had a chalil in his pocket that he used to play for the sheep in the fields. It would calm the sheep. As the tefillas, they reached their peak. Maybe they were saying Unesana Taikev, or maybe they were saying whatever tefillah. Maybe they were Milah Musaf. They were talking about Yom Kippur. They were talking about the Kohen Gadol and the Kodesh Kadosh. Who knows? Whatever is your heart. Highest part of the tefillah, put that in there right now. Okay? So he sat, okay. The boy couldn't contain his neshama any longer. He couldn't contain it. He took out his flute and he blew a long shrill. He just was blowing his flute. A beautiful note that pierced through the silence of the shul. There was such decorum in the shul, you can imagine, the Baal Shem Tov shul. All the mispalim, all the tzaddikim, they were shocked. People wanted to stop him. You're disturbing the tefillah. But the Baal Shem Tov stopped them. He had a look of pure joy on his face. What everyone thought was a disturbance, the holy Baal Shem Tov said, wait a minute. He understood what this was, and he had a smile on his face. He told all his Talmidim, throughout the morning, I saw that the tefillas of this community were being blocked by a heavenly cloud. There was a very thick arofel. There was a very thick fog, haze over. It didn't want to get through. It couldn't get through to the heaven. Couldn't go up to Shemayim. But when this simple boy blew his flute with his heart full of pure love for Hashem. I just want to give you something, Hashem. He didn't know how to daven. He didn't know what they were doing. But he felt, that feeling that he felt was so special. That sound acted like it was a patish, a hammer. It shattered those clouds. It shattered the fog and carried all of our tefillas up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Kisei HaKavod. Look, my dear friends, the Baal Shem Tov teaches us, don't look at gold and silver of the Mishkan as something that happened thousands of years ago. A lot of people read the Parsha, and it's something I'm reading about. It's history. It's nice. No. Not just something that happened thousands of years ago. Look in your own hearts. Your passion is your gold. Your love is your silver. When we take these emotions, the very things that make us human, and we dedicate them to something higher than ourselves, we aren't just giving to Hashem, we are taking His light and letting it dwell inside of us. It's called the Isarusa de la Sata, causes the Isarusa de la Eila. When I have an awakening down here, I cause an awakening up on high. The awakening down here, when I feel that love, when I feel that emotion to Hashem, that's my awakening up down here. It causes an awakening up on high, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu in turn shines His light into us. So our giving is taking. As we learn in Terumah, Hashem doesn't want a building. He wants us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves every single Yid. HaKadosh Baruch Hu desires to have a relationship with every Yid. And every Yid has to always remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Miloi Chol Haaretz Kavodai. No matter what level you're on. The same way we had this young boy that didn't know what the tefillah was. And he had no idea the importance of the days of prayer. He didn't understand the high holidays. He didn't understand the Yavim Noraim. But he was true. He gave a true blow with his flute. And look what he was able to accomplish. More than all the tzaddikim that were praying there, including the Baal Shem HaKadosh. So look what a true feeling can actually do. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how low you are or how low you think you are. Your feeling can cause such good in the world. You could do the same way if you have, I'll give you the example, we're going to close with this. If you go into a very dark room, very, very dark, and you can't see anything, and you light a match. Wow, that little match. Look how much light that is in that dark, dark room. My dear friends, we're in a very dark world, very dark. And every time you think a good thought to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that good thought brings so much more light into this world. We should all have a lechtige Shabbos. Thank you for listening. Please send your messages in. It gives me tremendous chizuk to go weiter. I love you all. Kol Tuv.